I want a sandwich. Now. Oh, sandwich wench. Yo, wench. Sandwich. Now. I'm going to need a sandwich. A sandwich. I'm going to need a sandwich. A sandwich. I'm going to need a sandwich. A sandwich. A sandwich. A sandwich. I'm going to need a sandwich. A sandwich. I'm going to need a sandwich. A sandwich. A sandwich. Oh, sandwich wench. I want a sandwich. Sandwich.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another political recap stream here on the Moisky Live channel. Joining me to talk about some stuff. Yeah, stuff. Is my scrumptious co-host TrupsLP. Say hello, Trups.
Hello, Trups.
How is Trups today?
Probably still from the bucket, but
Woo woo.
otherwise we're looking at some dreary rainy weather. I'll tell you, I don't know if you saw one of the tweets that I had posted, but I think it was Monday of this week, or maybe it was last week. It was the weeding comment.
Mm-hmm.
I think we had talked about it. Yeah. Well, I've wanted to pull my weeds, right? But I also don't want to go outside in the rain and pull my weeds. Well, as it turns out, this whole week has been raining.
Yeah, you're kind of put in a bit of a difficult position when it comes to weeding. I understand the problem, I really do. It's sod's law that when you can't do it, it's sunny, but when you want to do it, it's raining. It's like I want to repaint the exterior of my cabin, but I haven't had time. Every time I have had the chance, it has rained. Yet when I originally did it, I had to do it in the rain. I had no choice because it was the only time I could put the initial coats on. And it's Murphy's Law for the Americans, sod's law for the Brits. Understandably so. That sucks, though. I hope you're able to get it done eventually.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, the other thing that I have to do is, because of the area I live, I also have to take into account my personal insect care, pest control.
Yeah, I get you.
And in order to do that, I need to be able to actually, get rid of, actually apply some stuff to my house.
Yes. No, I get that as well because I need to buy some tomorrow to do to my cabin.
But if I can't do that when it rains, because then the chemical just goes into the runoff.
Yeah. And just a quick thing, I noticed on YouTube, Fubar Freak, you mentioned you saw a man pour bourbon into a lawnmower gas tank. But that's where bourbon belongs because whiskey's superior. And to chaos, weeding is easier when the ground is wet. That is true. But we don't want to be wet as well.
Right. Yes, you're correct, but it's best to do it like the day after.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, if it's damp, fine. If it's a little bit, moist, that's fine. But otherwise you don't, thank you. You don't really want to be in the rain as well unless you're wearing waterproofs, and that requires effort.
Correct.
Before we get into any subject matter today, I'd like to just remind everyone we are on Spotify, and while the audio on YouTube might not sound... Discord does a funny thing. It screws up his audio for some reason. I don't understand why, but it does. All this will be sexified by me tomorrow and on Spotify. So if you do want to listen to us on Spotify, if you have Spotify, please consider doing so and giving us a follow. We greatly appreciate it because, well, I pay for it, all right? Yeah, no, we don't. It would just be nice to hear a better audio quality. Let's go with that. Then that's where you want to go. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
This has been my advertising TED Talk.
Ah, yes, we always look at advertising.
And it is called the same as this. It's named the same as the channel, so Moisky Live ! You'll find it easily enough.
Do you know, to this day, I have yet to even create a Spotify account?
Really?
Yeah, I have been basically just running off of, YouTube, or just my Sirius XM radio in my car.
I don't listen to radio because I can't bother with listening to people talk. I yes, I don't listen to audiobooks or podcasts much myself. Except for Star Trek ones. So I
You
instead,
do them. Of course you do. Of course you don't listen to them.
Don't poke holes. Yeah, no, you're right. Actually, that's a valid one. I do have Amazon. I could listen to music through that, but for the life of me, I have no idea how to use it. Even though I'm sure it's easy. Spotify's easier.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to be a creature of habit and stick to what works for me. I still buy most of the music I listen to anyway, so I don't really care.
That's fair. I don't know. It's not even like I'm like trying to resist. You
just don't, do you?
I don't think about it at all.
That makes sense. For me, I got it in 2019. I never stopped. I think I had a shared account. Somebody let me use theirs for a while, and then they were a dickhead to me, so I got my own one.
There you go.
Yeah. It's peak me, really.
It really is
the highest moment of my life.
But we won't go into that too deeply.
Thank you.
Otherwise, we'd be doing a very different podcast.
Yes, it'd be a yeah. No, we don't do that crap here. So, where would you like to begin today? Would you like to talk about what we just briefly touched on before we hit the start?
Surely. We I don't know if this will or will not get monetized because of it, but we're going to talk about boycotts. You see, in the past, we have discussed Republicans, or conservatives rather, and their ability to mobilize as a group and boycott or protest things, and conservatives don't do that very well. But they seem to have managed to figure something out in regards to people like Dylan Mulvaney, when it comes to the Bud Light and Anheuser-Busch brand. And more recently, and appropriately to the topic, is Target. So before I delved into the current issue with Target, Mike, had you understood what was going on with the whole Dylan Mulvaney thing?
So, yes, I made videos on this. Dylan Mulvaney received a number of cans from Bud Light with Dylan Mulvaney's likeness on the cans. Now, these cans were not in circulation. They were a virtue signaling gift, but at the same time allowed Dylan Mulvaney to promote Bud Light. That did lead many to believe, I don't know if it is true or not, for Dylan Mulvaney to receive a paid sponsorship promotion for that ad. Now, that was an ad. Everyone knows Dylan Mulvaney makes tens of thousands for doing ads like that, and other ads as well, like Tampax, which was hilarious, especially the whole Barbie pocket remark, I will admit. It led me down a rabbit hole of finding out some people actually use frozen tomato juice or ketchup to simulate that kind of thing, and I'm not going to talk about where that goes. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to talk about it. But yes, that one ad on Instagram, it was shared to TikTok as well, because Dylan uses both platforms, but it was primarily on Instagram because that is where paid promotions for influencers is highly profitable. Some make up to 150 grand for an ad. Not even a joke.
Really?
Yeah, that's not a joke. I know that.
Disgusting. I wish I could make that much money doing anything.
I get like 100 likes on pictures of dogs. If someone wants to just ask me if someone wants to pay me to throw another dog picture up, I'll do more.
Chewy sponsorship?
Yeah, why not? I'll do some dog treats and have a video of Wizzy Boo eating one. And
moist dog treats doesn't sound as sexual and as inappropriate.
You're right. Thankfully not. I mean, no, thankfully not. But yes, it spiraled out from that one alleged paid promotion. I don't know if this one was. I can't remember. And Dylan went underground. Dylan stopped being vocal for a little while. Did appear on some podcasts eventually. Anheuser-Busch, though, doubled down. Anheuser-Busch got shit for it because their VPs in areas that don't quite understand the beer market said, we're done with the frat boys, and yet the frat boys and the rednecks and basically their core audience were like, Why are you alienating us? So they protested. There are people I know, one in the chat who knows people who work within that industry of retail and um, beer selling. Those shops that sell alcohol, yeah, that stuff. And Bud Light was boycotted. Now, I have often said boycotts don't really work. They really, for the most part, they really don't. They're just. It's like when people protested Colin Kaepernick for having Nike, sorry, for the Colin Kaepernick ads. It didn't work because Nike sales went through the roof. Bud Light did lose some money, yes, but at first it wasn't really much of one, yeah. But then Bud Light carried on doubling down a bit for a while, and it got worse to the point they have lost. They lost, was it 500 million in the first quarter? But they still made 1.6
I
billion
believe
in
right
profit.
now they are down 20% from where they were. Their stock is so whatever that equivalent is.
So if memory serves, it was 1.6. The profit was 1.6 billion. They were down about 500 million in profit.
They lost, I think, a year's worth of gains as of today or yesterday.
So on top of that, they then started to get the vendors back on side, offering them free beer in response. But the thing is, if the beer's already, first of all, just to be this person, it's called Bud Light. It's 3.5%. That's a fucking table beer. That's not even a pre-drink. I'd need 100 of those just to get the levels up enough to be mildly buzzed. But my bladder will be killing me. That stuff is crap.
I was gonna say
all this does,
the problem with Bud Light isn't the booze, it's the pissing.
Yeah, it is piss water, and I'm sorry, but you're gonna die on this hill over. I mean, the trans part is a different discussion, but you're gonna die on a hill over a light beer. How weak tea are you to begin with that you like a light beer? Don't even try me, bit. If any bitch tits who does like Bud Light wants to try and critique me on this one, go suck an egg, okay? Because honestly, you're drinking a light beer. I'm sat here drinking a glass of 40% Suntory Toki Japanese whiskey.
And I'm here sitting a Diet Dr. Pepper. Fuck
he has
you.
to drive soon. Oh, I'm sorry, man. But yeah, the point is, you can't. Beer. I don't like beer, so I will admit I'm not a huge fan. There are some stouts I can put up with, maybe a couple of ales, maybe, but not beer. It's a fake, a pretender. But at the same time, you have built a company on an image, an audience, and that has for decades withstood the test of time. Even with people saying the culture has shifted, it clearly hasn't, because it's running your business into the ground. And Dylan eventually did pop up and say that on podcasts with some rather well-known people. I think what's the woman who played Betty in Flintstones? The lesbian lady, Rosie McDonald?
Rosie O'Donnell, maybe.
Rosie O'Donnell, yeah, that's it. Yeah, she did a podcast. They did a podcast with them, and Dylan spoke about being under such pressure from all the attacks. And I'm like, bitch, what attacks? You're rolling in money right now. The only issue you've got is you tokenized, trivialized what it meant to be a woman, and you got caught for it. And in this, Anheuser-Busch have had to make some drastic changes, offer apologies, claim everything's not what it seems, when all they had to do was say, we're really sorry for getting this wrong. How about that?
True.
But they didn't. They had to say, but it was these people, and it wasn't this, it was this. Like, don't be pedantic. Don't be chaos. Don't be pedantic. Hi, chaos. Don't be pedantic. Take the L. It's just not you, chaos, in this instance. Take the L.
That's so difficult to actually take responsibility.
Yeah, well, apparently it's a novel concept that many don't quite understand. And I get it. Some people just can't. It's like a YouTube apology at this point. And it's embarrassing. Rosie O'Donnell, is that what you're writing there, Leona? I think it's Rosie O'Donnell, not Donald. Although I'm more than happy to call Rosie O'Donnell Donald. I think it's funnier. So that's what I know about it. I've done videos on the main channel covering this because I I don't agree with the severe backlash aspect, but I understand it because that beer is so that flavored water is so popular. It really, and I'll judge you guys, not you specifically, because I know you drink Knob Creek, but I will judge Americans harshly for the quality of the product, sure. But this is a product that appeals to the very people they are turning their back on, under the guise of trying to make it seem more progressive. Thing is, there was another beer that did it as well. Was it Miller Lite? Miller Lite did it as well. They did an ad. Sugar Tits had tweeted a video, and it was the cringiest feminist shit ever on a freaking beer ad. If I can find it, I'll link it to you. I know she tweeted it because it cringed me the fuck out. It was so bad.
Maybe?
I'm scrolling through it. Here it is. Yeah, it was. I found it already. I've got the. I'll link you the. If I can get to it. Oh yeah, beer company fail. It's Miller Lite. Yeah, I'll link it to you so you can. Yeah, there you go. There is a video in the. I'll download the video and send it to you because otherwise you won't understand. But there is a video accompanying in those archive. I'll just go and get it and DM it. I'll put it on the server so you can see. But it is genuinely not a very good. I mean, it could be a parody, but I actually looked the person up. I'm not convinced it's a parody at this point. But then I don't know what parody is anymore. I just can't tell. Everything's just. I don't know. I don't understand.
I don't understand.
I don't know why companies are doing it, but they're not the only company doing it. As you mentioned before. Just so I know, though, what is your understanding of the Anheuser-Busch situation?
It's more or less the same. I understand it as basically it is an outrage from. I'll say conservatives. Mainly because Dylan has a majorly how do I say younger audience.
Yes, malleable, very impressionable.
Right, and that rubs people the wrong way because, of course, interacting with children, especially trying to sell them beer, is something that ordinarily we understand that the FCC and other such companies probably don't quite like the idea of doing that kind of work. And similarly, the backlash that came from basically people saying it's not about even you being a trans person. It's not really about the trans issue. It's that Dylan. Some people don't even believe that he believes that he's trans. There are some pieces of evidence that one could say is pointing to his masquerading as this, as it does. It is popular, and it does
come across as a bit of a caricature at times.
Now, I won't give any credence to that. I'm just saying that people have pointed to things that may or may not give good evidence regarding it. But for a lot of people, it's the children thing. It's that your audience is children. I believe even Ted Cruz at this point is looking to.
Woman face is what they are calling it, Trups, according to Football Freak in the YouTube chat.
Oh, absolutely. No, I definitely agree with that sentiment. I think that's correct. But yeah, I believe even Ted Cruz is bringing up some of the Bud Light stuff in a investigatory hearing about how Bud Light may or may not have been targeting children.
Oh dear.
So I'm not sure where that's going to go. I just know that it's a thing, and that is where that whole situation is. And of course, because of that, people just said, "Nah, I don't want to do that beer no more. I don't want to be seen with it. I don't want my friends to be seen with it." And at this point, people are making memes about it, and it's become a culture of mockery. Which I think has further pushed it under the table, and with less option to come back around. Some places get to recover when they do something stupid. but it's usually because people don't care all that much, or the vast majority of individuals who are involved in the protest kind of also need the service. Beer isn't like that, though. There are plenty of other options for beer that people don't have to go to Bud Light or Anheuser-Busch products to get their fix. They have options, whether it's Coors, Yingling, or imported beers for that matter. So that's where I understand a lot of the stuff from the Anheuser-Busch side of everything is.
How
now
does
the Target
this...
stuff.
Okay, you figured out what I was going to
I got you.
Okay.
Now the Target stuff that plays in a similar, an adjacent place.
Okay.
So Target originally had a whole bunch of stuff up for Pride. Pride is going to start in, less than a week. So June,
your version
Pride
is
month.
yes.
Yes.
I have a query about Pride. I'm not going to be. I'm not trying to be. I'm not going to be homophobic. I'm not going to be transphobic. I'm just the newest flag version I've seen has like it's arrow in it now as well. So instead of just being a rainbow, it has an arrow with additional colors.
Yeah.
What the fuck are they?
So that is including black and brown.
But this isn't race. This is Pride Month. This is sexuality based. Yes,
but they have changed it to include marginalized communities is the word that they would use.
All they need is just they don't need a flag with every color of the rainbow on plus additional shades and tones. All they need is one white flag that says "No white people, please."
Basically, yeah.
No straight white people. How about that? Especially the males, because most sweet white females seem to be also bi for the college try.
Well, yeah, that too.
And if anyone gets really offended by that, really have a think about it and realize how right I actually am. Like, seriously.
And I do want to point out that here on this channel, we don't actually care if you are gay, trans. We don't care how you identify. More importantly, we just want you to live your life. Your life. Not my life. For you. Understand?
Yeah, be yourself. I honestly couldn't care less. It's just, to me, Pride is not meant to be that. About marginalized groups as well. I'm sorry, but you have Black History Month. You have many other inclusive events as well.
I want to point out how rude it is that Black History Month is the shortest month of the year. It's in February.
Hang on, I think we have a version now in our country, and it might be a longer. Hang on, I'll find out.
Okay.
I think ours is October, so we have 31 days. Although I will say, while I'll still the shortest, at least once every 4 years you get 29 days.
Yeah, and then they made June Pride Month, which is one of the longer months of the year because it has one.
I'm just gonna let's see. Pride Month in UK is it's the 1st of July. My mistake. I thought we had Pride Month in February this year. My mistake. Okay. Yeah, I thought it's February. I thought we had him back to front on purpose for a laugh. It would have been funnier if our Pride Month was the shortest and your Black History Month was the shortest, and vice versa on the longest ones. But still, I just want to maintain. Couldn't care less what who you find attractive. I really don't care. Don't care who you're with. Doesn't mean shit to me in the slightest. Why? Because I'm asexual Amish. I couldn't care less. All right. My computer's literally made out of horse. Okay. That's all it is. I only care that I think it is wrong to include what has been dubbed marginalized communities, because that's a very nebulous term, to include themselves into something that is about sexuality, not race.
Chaos. I'm a white bi woman. We're common enough. I'm a Hispanic bi man. What's up?
And Trups didn't give a shit about what I said.
Sorry.
No, not that. I mean, what I said about people's sexuality earlier.
Yeah, no. I mean, you said you were an asexual Amish.
Yeah. I think it's a fitting sexuality.
At this point,
Am I Mennonite?
I don't think it matters.
Is it Mennonite? Because I use technology.
Yes.
I live in a log cabin. It's fine.
Yes,
Carry on with Target, because I don't actually know anything about this beyond little snippets of information.
Yeah. So so they had a bunch of different stuff up on their for Pride Month, right? And things that they included were clothing that was children.
Yes,
was
the binding and the tucking.
Yeah, that too.
I put it in a response video for Monday on my main channel. I completely forgot. Thank you. Sorry, my apologies for interrupting. I just remembered. Yeah, I saw a woman do a TikTok video and I had to feature it because I don't. Right, first of all, they got all these pride messages with the clothing. My view on for those who think you dress your children up all the time. That's fine. My nieces tomorrow are going to be dressed up as princesses to go to a party that I'm not going to talk about on air. I might tell Chups about briefly at some other point. But they have to do that because that's been requested of them. The pride thing I take issue with, and this is where I'm just segueing into it. I don't think it right for parents to dress their children up for these events because it comes across as virtue signaling or like you are attempting to push your child early into something, which I believe falls under the word of GROOMING. And I think,
I think it would fit there.
And I've seen the videos of kids twerking at these events being championed by a bunch of pervs. Yes, now we got demonetized, and I don't agree with it at all. It comes across as virtue signaling. You put your kid in a rainbow flag onesie with binding and tucking, with messages written on like tags that are quite inappropriate, by the way, and it looks really, really bad. I'm sorry, no, that's not good at all.
Everything about the whole thing just makes me very uncomfortable.
Me too, because you're dressing your child up to go to these events. Your child, I don't know about whether the child depends on the kind of event, I guess, because some people are just proud to be who they are, but children
probably don't be proud of who you are without.
Yeah, children shouldn't be there. Yeah, sorry, no.
You can be whoever you want to be without getting children involved in the situation.
The binding and the tucking thing. So I have to ask because I'm not a parent. I don't know children. I mean, I'm surrounded by kids with my nieces and nephews, but I don't know anything about their clothes. I don't pay attention to that crap. Why? Because I'm not a parent. I don't give a damn what as long as they're wearing clothes, I couldn't care less. They could be dressed up looking like Barney, or like a Turducken Slammer. They could dress up looking like a freaking Jedi. I don't care. I might get a bit offended by the Jedi one, but it doesn't matter as long as they're wearing clothes and they're happy. But I don't know if children's clothes come with some kind of binding already or tucking for a purpose. I don't know. I actually am clueless on this. Is this normal or not? That's my query.
No.
Oh, no, thank you. That answers that then.
Of course not. Of course it's not normal.
I have to be certain of these things, so I really don't know.
Well, it wouldn't be as objectionable, right? If it was something that just said like, oh, I have 2 dads and I love them. Great. I'm so happy for you. I'm totally like down with you supporting like your parent. That's great. If that's like what the kids' clothes is, great. I don't care. But the moment that you start playing into what we have now, which is children getting binders and other such clothing items that would encourage them to be involved in getting trans surgery at a less than reasonable age.
Oh, you mean like Susie Green, who at the age of 16 took her then son to Thailand to avoid having the surgery done in the UK because at that point the surgery required many, many hoops to be jumped through. And she wanted to change her son to a daughter while the going was still good. And even joked about her son at the time having a very small cock because of puberty blockers. The child now...
I hate those words that you just said.
The child, now a fully grown adult, still believes the mother did the right thing because they were conditioned as a child to believe it. About the kid in Texas whose mother is transitioning the son to a daughter but has repeatedly said to the father, who is not with the mother, I want to be a boy. The court in Texas sided with the
I remember this story.
James something, I think, wasn't it?
I can't remember the actual name, but yes, I do recall. Like I know what story you're talking about.
Jeff
I can't
Younger.
remember. Oh yeah,
That's the father.
Oh yes, right. Younger was the last name.
Luna Younger, a 7-year-old trans girl. That's not. No. They also planned the mother. There was a fear that Dr. Anne Gorgulus, whatever, George Euless. Yeah. The father believed that she was planning to chemically castrate her son. Like this is crap. And I don't agree with any of this shit. It's like the puberty blocker thing. I mentioned to you before the stream that I saw Steve Shives had made a video, and in it he said, if you're not okay with puberty blockers, then surely you're also not okay with circumcision. And my instant response is, yes, I am 100% anti-circumcision. This is not a hill that you think it is, because circumcision is not the correct name. It is a term used for something that is predominantly a religious practice. Believe it or not, female circumcision still exists as well as cultural and religious practice. But one got outlawed and the other didn't. Yet it should be. Unless medically necessary.
So, and I don't think anybody could actually make that. Well, actually, there is a medical condition.
There are a couple. There is a choking one. Yeah.
Yes.
There is the other argument I get from, and it's mostly, and if you're a female, please, I'm not being sexist here. The only argument I see predominantly as a counter, it comes from females, and it's that, but they're not as clean. I'm like, bitch, it's not your cock. You don't get a say. All right? You remember My Body, My Choice? Yeah, this applies here. All right? Steve Shives is a moron, just saying. If you didn't know already.
Correct.
Expect a response video on Tuesday.
But
targets.
Yeah, so then a bunch of people got together, and it was Gays Against Groomers on Twitter that had posted up the original post, I think. That got viral because I think the other one was TikTok. But yeah, so they posted it, and for your own sake, I'll post it right here. And you can see where I got it from, the Newsweek article.
Yes, I've not seen that version of it, but I've seen a video like it.
Right, and basically it's just that going through the whole thing, the whole spiel.
That is one of the ugliest Twitter links I've ever seen in my life.
Well, right, it's also because it's from the Newsweek.
I'm going to send it to Leona because she hates them.
Oh, article embedded links?
Yeah, she hates them. It's just like 3-4 lines.
I mean, I understand.
And she'll see this hear me say it 30 seconds after she's already seen it.
Good.
Continue.
So, I believe within a week, they lost $9 billion.
Really?
Which is insane. Like, actually insane. And yeah, so they immediately, like, they took down a lot of this stuff. All the clothes, including the tuck-friendly swimsuit. I think that also went to, let me think. It went 404 online as well.
Really?
And their argument was that the reason why they're doing this is because Target's employees and locations were being threatened.
Were they?
Question.
I didn't know that.
Why would you take something offline if it was about physical safety? Doesn't
One
quite
does
make
wonder.
sense to me.
I'm kind of curious. I don't understand though.
Okay, what part?
I'm being sarcastic. I'm sorry.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I should have been a bit. No. This is bullshit. They shouldn't have put it up to begin with. I'm kind of curious. No. My curiosity actually is, why did they do it in the first place? What made them? Who was the genius that thought, you know what babies need? They need binding at an early age, just in case they decide to, transition. You know what kids need? They need to have something to tuck, because some adults use gaffer tape, and we don't want to subject a child to that when they're young.
Oh, of course not. That's
Kids.
just
I mean, I'm not.
weird,
this
dude.
isn't now where I'm going to be like poking holes and saying, but they don't have. Babies aren't exactly. I don't want to. I can't say it because it's inappropriate. You shouldn't have this on a child in the first place, okay? Regardless of what age or how big the child is, in height, weight, and all that. This crap shouldn't exist, okay?
Oh no, you're 100% correct, and you shouldn't feel bad about that. That being said, however, there are individuals out there who are totally okay with things like this being given or presented in front of children. In fact, they make it their duty to do so.
Yeah. Well, then this is more companies getting absolutely caught out. And in our YouTube chat, Leona has written, "Why did you send me an insanely long link re Trups?" Now, that's not what she sent to me in DM. She wrote, "Why is it so long?" Quay. But yes, I don't quite understand why more companies are trying to push this envelope. Is that what? Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're treading on.
Why is this the hill that you want to die on?
Why are you choosing this battlefield? I don't understand that. It doesn't make as much sense to me as it should.
Because I think they're more afraid, or in the past, they had been more afraid of other people, meaning the left-wing black bloc hate mob that actually will firebomb your business and steal and ransack. This is hilarious, by the way, given that Target has been ransacked like all throughout the Western corridor.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, I mean, Target in some places has just refused to operate. Like they have moved out of that location. And I believe one of them was Portland.
Really?
Oh yeah. Yeah, we're crazy over here. But I think that they're more scared of the Democrats, and they know full well. Like it's not hard to figure out why a company would be more interested in going for the safe option with people like or with the ideology of the left versus the ideology of the right. It's not a shock to anybody, and it's because the left will actually boycott you and actually get onto your case about it. Now, however, after the Bud Light thing, conservatives realized how to do it. They have power, and they know they do. So now, the right people just need to say the word, and conservatives just don't. Now, of course, with Target, it's a little bit different. In certain areas of the country, that may be the only major superstore that you have around. So, to those people, I'm sorry. I'm not going to blame you if you still shop at Target because it's the only store you have available. I'm not going to get on your case about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just unfortunate. But everyone else who has options, yeah, sure. Why bother going to Target when you can go anywhere else? Publix, fucking Walmart, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, they had to do that. The CEO came out and basically said, yeah, we took this down, but we also stand with the LGBTQ community.
Okay.
Which sounded a whole lot like not saying the thing, but saying the thing. You know what I mean?
It kind of does sound like that, doesn't it?
Which at that point you're just like, all right, come on now, come on. You're trying to save face for everybody, but you made everyone upset. Go on.
Say the thing. You know you want to.
Genuinely, I think he does.
I kind of get it.
And no, I mean I get it too. Like he's running a business. He also wants to save face and continue to make money. 9 billion, however, in a week is pretty fucking fast turnaround. Telling you that no.
Very painful.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how they managed to screw this up so badly, and then. But I still want to know who it was that came up with the idea. That's what I want to know. Who's the genius that thought this is what we want to do right now?
So there are actually some artists who had their merchandise pulled, and he does a bunch of like satanic stuff.
Right.
Let me see here. One of them is actually a London fashion designer. Ab Prolin, that's what it is.
Do you think that's the person responsible in this instance, or?
So they had a bunch of Fox News labeled the designer behind the brand Eric Carnell an outspoken Satanist whose work features occult imagery and messages like Satan respects pronouns on brand apparel.
Satan respects pronouns. Okay.
So basically, he didn't help himself.
Doesn't sound like helping oneself at all. It's a bold move.
Yes, good.
It's a interesting one.
Yes, I just linked you that article in case you wanted to also look at that.
Let's have a look. Oh, yeah. Oh God! For God's sake, why do they always look like hipster bitches with the porn star mustache? Really bad one.
That's a great question. You know the answer though.
I don't want to. I can't say the answer on air. I can't say it on air. But yes, you're right.
Oh, but yes, you know the answer as to why they always look like that. And my thing is the nose ring every time. My grandfather used to basically say "se parece un vaca," which essentially is you look like a cow. With the people with the nose rings.
Yeah, I get you.
And he would always make the gesture as if you can lead the bull around in with the handle. And he goes, nobody ever needs to do that. It's the worst thing that you could possibly ever do.
Yep.
Which I think is hilarious. So yeah, that's the Target thing. Would you like to move on to a different topic?
I mean, we're 43 minutes in. We can talk about DeSantis if you want for a bit.
Sure.
I hear
DeSantis finally.
Yeah.
He has finally announced his running for president, and he did it on Twitter, on Twitter Spaces.
Oh yeah, he spoke to Elon, didn't he?
Yeah, and it was kind of
boring.
Meh.
I'd heard that this was kind of flat in delivery, and I didn't know whether it was because he didn't know how to talk or if it was because of something else.
I think part of it is because you can't see him. Twitter Spaces only applies audio. There's no video, right? So there's not even like an address. You know how a president would put up their, my fellow Americans, kind of thing. I don't genuinely know if I mean, obviously him shooting to do it on Twitter is obviously a thing so that he can get in close with Twitter as a platform because he sees the value in it.
Yeah.
Elon is thrilled, right? But I don't know. The way that he phrased it, I mean, his presentation was just
I think
like it wasn't.
I think if you're not
great.
visible, then people are always going to struggle to connect with you. And a
Yeah.
lot of these candidates, a lot of these speakers, they require the visual medium to accompany it, so that they can not just gesture, but get the people emotively involved. Because you can't do it if you're just sat there doing a flat interview, like in a voice chat on Discord. Oh, everyone, I'm running for president. All right, cool. You want to go on Fortnite now? It's just not going to work. It doesn't get
Right,
anyone.
and
No one's energized. Have I just
that,
lost
and
Digger?
I think genuinely his delivery was just bad too. Like if you listen to the playback, it's honestly just kind of like there's nothing. It's very boring.
Oh, make an effort, mate.
Right. It was just like he didn't have the charisma, he didn't have the gumption, like it just felt so disappointing. Like you get on a ride at like an amusement park and you're so hyped, all the things, and you get on it and it's like 12 seconds and it had like one good drop.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, I stood in line for an hour. Wow.
Yeah.
I hate everything.
Yeah,
I hate this.
I get you. I get that. I think you got a point.
So yeah, that's part of it. I also think that so now he's got to contend with Mr. Charisma himself.
Oh yeah, that would be an interesting one though. That I kind of want to see how that goes down.
Now, MSNBC was making a point when I was listening to them earlier. Joe Scarborough is an absolute fucking lunatic, but he was making the point that with the charisma that comes with people like Trump, he says, comes things like these, what's it called? Fucking all the indictments, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess, sure, but it doesn't have to. Also, that's a weird thing to say. Like he's very on the side of DeSantis, which is very odd to me because just a little while ago he was bitching and moaning about DeSantis getting involved with all the stuff with what's it called, Disney. And so now I'm looking at him and wondering, all right, so what do you think is actually going to happen then, sir? Mm-hmm. Because you're currently voting for this person, or at least you're on their side, but it doesn't appear like you really want to be. And yeah, I'm kind of watching all of this go down, and
do you ever think? Do you think DeSantis has made the right move doing this now? Because he's just been elected for a second term. He hasn't really been around too long. He was a congressman, I know that, but he hasn't really at this sort of stage. Could he not just wait until Biden's fucked off?
Yes.
Because I think that'd be easier for him to win anyway. I don't think Trump's going to run again in 4 years' time because he'd be fine.
Well, obviously, yeah. I think he doesn't expect to win is the real thing. I don't think he genuinely thinks he's going to win because there's no way that somebody is looking at all these things going on and is thinking to themselves, yeah, with everything that we are currently looking at, I can totally do it. I can win 100%.
Yeah.
I don't think he really. I think he's just throwing his hat in the ring.
So I tend to agree with that. I don't think he expects to go far, but there's also the thing where now people know his name is in the hat. People are just going to poison the well as much as they can with him and paint him as bad, if not worse, than Trump. Look at all these candidates for conservatives. They're all anti-trans, as if trans gender people make up a vast majority in a country. They're anti-immigrant, even though that's not what they are at all. They're anti-illegal immigrant. It's not the same thing in the slightest. And they're not. Their policies are not progressive enough, because progressive is, as you all know, is only ever correct, which is not true in the slightest. It's astonishing the level of it's astonishing the level of disingenuous interpretation of facts. They have such a blind spot to what is and is not real. Sorry, I started reading the live chat and I got lost in my head for a second. Then
I do that often. You'll hear it when I start speaking. If I start reading something else, I'll just start going off on a tangent and it stops making sense.
In the chat though, there's a good point. I don't understand why Trump would be a good rate option, because he's a lame duck president from day one. He was up against the wall when he first got elected. There were people who were against him though, not because of his policies. They were against him because he wasn't a politician, and that made it fascinating to me because I'm English. Why do I care? People saying he was going to pull the trigger, push the buttons on nukes and all that. Man negotiated peace in a few areas and actually set the groundwork for things that could have happened had people continued down the path with the Middle East and with North Korea. Nobody else
the reason why people want to give Trump the second go around is because now it's revenge, and he doesn't have to worry about a second term. And I think a lot of people genuinely want the revenge. Of course, a lot of people.
Funny.
Well, yeah, but like a lot of people have been sitting there listening and watching all of this bullshit, right? Every indictment, every investigation. Why? Because he wasn't supposed to be there. They just don't like him, right? They don't want it. He wasn't supposed to be that guy, but he was that guy.
Yeah, and just a quick thing. People hated Hillary. She got the popular vote though, so she was hated, but not hated. It was also one of the worst turnouts in election history, if I remember correctly. Trump and Clinton. It wasn't a very good turnout at all, and that didn't help. But the Electoral College, if memory serves, it was quite a big sway for him, wasn't it? In the end, I think it was a reasonable one, if memory serves. It was the one. It was obviously the one with Biden that confused the crap. I remember so just to think, because it's cracked me up. When we first came, just before the election, we were talking about it, and the moment that the election happened, the first things we said were, that was weird. Because it was still ongoing and we had no idea what was going on. Can we just mention that Trump Biden is too old? Yes, we can, Stella. Absolutely. I agree, by the way. I agree they're too old. But I'm English. I don't care. We have a very young Prime Minister and he's an idiot. But also, I think I like watching their pantomime.
Yeah, and also like there's fun that you can have watching all this shit.
You can't with ours. Ours is so heavily regulated; it is beyond boring. Honestly, it's so dumb. So? Well, the only time it was ever really interesting was when Tony Blair first ran for office, because he had so many people on his side. It was a genuine, almost American-esque version, but in the 90s, so really cringy with like permed hair. First day after he got voted in, Tony Blair's wife, Cherie Blair, opened the door looking absolutely like hungover in a dressing gown, looking like white trash. It was so funny. Opening the doors number 10, and then there's this silly old biddy walking out, looking like absolute crap to talk to somebody and then go back in again. It was quintessentially English, quite frankly, because everyone afterwards. Ever since Cherie Blair did that, no one's had the balls to go to the door in their dressing gown.
For good reason. But I think Stella is correct that Trump and Biden are too old, even as they currently stand. The fact that they're both going in again is a little concerning to me. hang on, I have to look up something.
Isn't that like a
Age.
3, 4
what
year?
is what is
Isn't he
Biden's
77?
age?
Isn't he 80
I
now?
think so. Okay. Okay, yeah. Biden is 80.
Yeah.
Bill Clinton is younger.
He does not. Oh, I mean, I can't tell the difference. Both look haggard to shit.
Right. Bill Clinton is 76.
Trump is 76.
No. Bill Clinton is 76.
So is Donald Trump.
But yeah, so first of all, the difference between how Bill Clinton looks and how Trump looks is
Clinton looks like a cancer patient.
he literally looks like he's on his deathbed.
By the way, I actually kind of like Bill Clinton. I just, he got a blowjob in the Oval Office, fam. How can you not like him?
Because he's a scumbag.
I mean, that doesn't help. But I'm sorry, it's just funny to me. He's at least didn't. I mean, no. He's done some crap stuff, but I don't understand. Yeah, nah. I thought it was hilarious. It was parodied by everyone. I loved it.
And J9, I'm personally in favor of term limits for all branches of government and all federal positions, which is important because it's not about the elected people. It's about the appointed people. The people who get in and make a career about working in, let's just say, like the West Wing, for instance. Like, if that's their job and they've been in it for 25 years, it doesn't matter what president is in the White House. They have all the control that they've had established over 20 years. Like, no way.
Yeah. By the way, Bill Clinton, he looked so young when he was in office. He looked almost up until I'd say I don't know how many when it happened, but it wasn't that. It must have been only a few years ago. But he looked ageless for so long, and then age hit him so hard.
True. Actually, George W. Bush, by comparison, is looking much better.
And I looked up Monica Lewinsky. I mean, it must have been the facial, but she looks absolutely fantastic as well after 25 years.
Jesus.
I couldn't resist. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. There are some things that have to be said. I'm sorry, but Eminem mocked the crap out of this. I remember it. Okay.
I mean, you're not wrong.
It ruined. I mean, yeah, that's fine. Age hit him fast, basically, because he looked very much like he had the. I mean, I kind of understand now why Stan Smith, American Dad, had the facial jawline he had. I'm pretty sure it was based on Bill Clinton because he's got quite a big face, but not a big face at the same time. It's like very weirdly lower half face it used to be when he was younger.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of get it. He has a great head of hair as well. I don't like that either.
True. But yeah, so I think with the crap that we have coming down the pipe, with DeSantis and Trump and all of that crap, I think we're going to see something very, very interesting come the first debate.
Yeah.
I don't know when it is.
How many during the first debate are going to say to Trump, right, you've been done for all these crimes, your insurrection, all this, rather than focusing on any policy as challenger?
I imagine there's going to be a vast majority of those comments, actually.
Yeah. I still think DeSantis, Trump is likely well, not that way around, but the other way, is likely, I guess. But I don't know whether or not it'll happen.
Right, and I genuinely do not know. I would have to. I want to see this, but right now they're going so hard on the indictments for Trump that I think that, quite frankly, the shit that they're trying to pull, basically giving every single possible legal challenge at him. They used to say that his payments to Stormy Daniels, that was the That was the biggest thing, threatening him.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Now it's the issue with the documents. Oh, now the documents. That's the biggest legal challenge facing Donald Trump. Okay.
Is it?
I don't know. I don't know if any of this shit's real after all.
It sounds very sensationalist, doesn't it?
Oh my god, it's so painful.
I don't get it.
Like all I have to listen to is just more people bitch, and it's not even like good bitching.
Good bitching.
Like they're not even like going after things that matter.
Yeah, no, I get you.
Like if they really, really cared, right? Then you bring up the fact that the coup, right? The coup. That's what they all said. They just sent away the creator of the Proud Boys. They just sent him away for.
Is that Gavin McInnes?
No. Sorry, not the Proud Boys. The Oath Keepers. They just sent him away for 18 years, and they're trying to appeal it right now.
18 sounds a bit excessive, doesn't it?
It does, and actually, they some people have been saying, oh, they should have done more.
I'm not surprised because they'll say that is the greatest threat to your democracy, but that's not entirely true. I could be wrong though.
Well, of course, anything that threatens Democrats' hold on power is inherently a threat on democracy. Clearly,
Must be.
Well, unfortunately, we have hit our time marker.
Oh yes, we have. My apologies. We are out of time, everyone. Thank you all for being here. Sorry for ending it so abruptly. But we will be back at some point. Might not be next week because I have something else planned. But I'll keep Trups updated and we'll see what happens. Thank you all for joining, and we'll see you soon. Say good night, Trups.
Yes. Good night, Trups.